ever noticed that you can't break a group of sticks when they're all together? But if you just take one of them, it's really easy to break. So today we're going to talk about how to break down an overwhelming task into smaller chunks to help get our children out of overwhelm and help move them forward. So do you remember back to term papers and how daunting of a task that was? Let's see, do you remember how we had note cards and it was very overwhelming to think about, but we conquered it. So how did we do that? Let's break it down and then figure out how to use that same process for our children. So first thing we did, and there's really kind of 3 steps, but we basically broke it down into steps or chunks, which was our note cards to start with. We wrote our kind of chunks of information that we wanted to use later in our term paper. Then we prioritized the chunks, we put them together, or we organized them into a different order, or the order we wanted, and then we set a timeline to complete each chunk. So, and here's kind of an example of what that would look like. You can do this with different projects for your child. Let's see if I can do this without getting too much of a glare. But anyway, we broke down the 3 steps and put them in order, which was make our note cards, put our cards in order, and then write the paper. But even with it, write the paper, I mean, oh, that's where it's scary. So let's break that down. We're going to have the intro, we're going to write the body, and we're going to write the conclusion. Okay? Now we can even break that down, because again, here's the scary part. So maybe we're going to have, it's going to be a 10-page paper. So this is going to be 3 pages, 3 pages, and 3 pages of our thing here. So now we've got our steps, we put them in order. Now we need to kind of set a timeline, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. But basically, if you do note cards up here, like let's say that you're going to do 10 note cards a day, okay? So we're going to set it up, we're going to do note cards on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because we're going to make about 40 note cards. And then on Friday, we're just going to put them in order. Okay, that's easy enough. Because when you do this, your child it's not overwhelming. It's like, okay, on Monday, all I have to do is 10 cards. Okay, well, I can do that. That's manageable. That is not when you don't know where to start and all you can think of is all of this information, and overwhelm takes over. So just say, no, just all we're doing today, 10 cards. That's it. That's all you have to do. And then the next day, 10 cards. And then Friday, that's an easy day, we'll put it in order. And then the next week, let's say on Monday, we're going to write the intro. And on Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to write 3 pages. And on Thursday, Friday, we're going to write 3 more. The next week, Monday, Tuesday, we're going to write 3 more pages. And then Wednesday, we'll write pages. So again, even just setting down, okay, I just need to write the introduction paragraph today. That's it. Just the intro paragraph. Or maybe I have 3 pages. I'm going to write a page one day and then a page the next day, or a page and a half. Okay? So this is how you break it down into chunks, because it's very concrete, it's very simple, it's easy to follow, and it gets you out of overwhelm. So that's what our teens and our kids even need this too. So let's take an example and use it in something that's different. So for example, we had a student who was under 10, and he saw a TED Talk on a child who was creating his own phone apps. And so he's like, I want to write my own phone apps. But he didn't know how to code, and his parents didn't know anything about coding. The only code they knew was the secret code to get into the neighborhood treehouse. That's it. That's their extent of coding. So we found an app online. Apple has a great app, by the way, that you can use. And it's designed for kids, and it has different modules. It has short little trainings that have a game tied to it. So that sounds easy enough, right? Well, when we got in there, and this is the shortened version of the story, but there was basically kind of 5 big modules to complete, and within each of the 5 modules, there were 5 more modules, and in each of those modules, there were 5 more modules. So as the child looked at this, all of a sudden, it became very overwhelming, like, I will never get all this done, forget it, I don't want to do it. So we don't necessarily want to show them the whole shebang right to start with, or even if we do, we say, okay, well, here's the whole shebang, but we're just going to take this chunk. Let's just start with this chunk. Just today or just this week, let's just do 2 modules. Can we do that? Is that reasonable? Okay, well, let's just start there. You just have to get started and just take a small chunk. Okay, so anyway, to break it back down again, those 3 things that we do are to break it down into smaller chunks. Then we put the chunks in order and then kind of put a deadline, like again with the phone app, we said we're just going to do 2 modules today or this week. So remember, when we're overwhelmed, the key is to break down the task into chunks, bite-sized chunks, just like breaking 1 stick at a time. That is manageable. So Hope you enjoyed our Monday Minute today and hope you have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.